Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Prashant Agurla. I am currently participating in Hulkhire Internship Program, where I am learning advanced concepts of Spring Boot and Microservices. And guys, in this video, we are going to learn how to create your own REST API. So, with these annotations, how we are going to create REST API. So, these annotations are very important. So, let us start. And guys, this internship is guided by Tausief Sir, who has been helping us understand backend development and building real-world applications using Java and Spring Boot frameworks. Today, I'm excited to present a demo project that I have built as a part of this internship. I will be showing you how to create your own basic REST API using Spring Boot. Explain the step-by-step how the application works. Okay, let's start the project. Let's start the video with the agenda. So we'll start with introduction to REST API, and later we see tools and environment that we are using to build this project, this REST API, and creating a Spring Boot project. How we are going to create the Spring Boot project and understanding importance of annotations. Building a simple REST API, get, post, put, delete. These are the HTTP methods. And we are at last we are going to test the API using Postman. And we'll end with the conclusion. So let's start with the introduction to REST API. So what is REST API? Representational state transfer application programming interface. So API is a way for two computer systems like your app and the server to communicate with each other over the internet using simple rules. So what is I think you people are aware of API. API is nothing but it's a connection between it's a bridge between two applications or two computers. So API which is building on the standards of REST is known as REST API. And why the REST API is important? They're important because they connect different applications, they make development faster and simple, they allow scalability, and they are large language independent. And let's see how applications communicate over HTTP. So what is HTTP? HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's a standard language that computers use to communicate over the internet. And guys, let's see the tools and environment setup. So we are going to develop this REST API on STS environment. So which is built upon the Eclipse. And we are going to take the project from Spring Initializer and we are going to test using Postman. And creating a Spring project. Open Spring Initializer and we are going to select. So we all see this while doing the practically. And we're going to understand these annotations which are very important while developing a Spring REST API like request controller, request mapping, get mapping, post mapping, put mapping, and delete mapping. So later on, we'll create a controller class where we are going to develop all these REST APIs. And next, we are going to test with the Postman. So and we will end with the conclusion, recapping of REST API creation, importance of mastering basic API operations, and encourage hands-on practice. So let's start our project practically. So I'm going to the browser, open the Spring Initializer, open this, and so let's start importing the project. So we need to select the project as Java, and the Spring Boot version is 3.4.5. It's by default. And when coming to the group name is nothing but company name. So whatever the company name you have to want to select, you can select that. I'm going to create the company name as Hulkhire. This is the company name, and name of my project is. Mm, let me select first API. So this is the name of your project, first API, and this is the company name, and the package will be package name automatically generated by the group name and artifact ID. So thereafter you can select jar, and I'm going to select Java 17 version. So as you comfortable, you can select whatever you want. Because I was using everything in Java 17 version, so I was selecting that. And when coming to the dependencies, I'm going to add dependencies like Spring Web. So where all the REST APIs dependents, so where this dependency consists of all these REST annotations. And I'm also going to add Spring Dev Tools. So with the Spring Dev Tools, we don't need to always run our applications. So it will automatically run the application when we save the project. Next, click on Generate. Look at here, is project going to download in zip file. Okay, it's got downloaded in zip file. So let's go to the downloads, and there you can find this. So put this in a new folder. It's better to have in a new folder. I'm going to select a folder, and I'm going to put this in that folder. So you can see right here. So now I'm extracting this. Extract, extract. So once open the folder, there you can see, you can verify all documents are got included or not. So yes, everything got came. So next, start building the project. Go to the Spring tool suite. So this is the where IDE we are going to develop our project. So you can also use Eclipse IDE, whatever it may be, but make sure that you are aware of what you're doing with. So I'm doing in STS. So launch. Okay. Now I need to import the project. Click on File. Click on Import. Thereafter, click on Existing Project because it's already got existed. We already downloaded that project, right? So in not only that, we can also create the project using the tool suite like this starter project. So you can also select the dependencies, and you can also select the name, artifact ID, and everything here. And you can also add the dependencies over here. So it's according to you what you prefer, you go with that. So now I'm going to import the project. Import existing Maven project. Thereafter browse, choose the path where your project is located. The project is located in downloads 3. So make sure that while you're opening, these should be visible. Select and finish. It should be available like pom.xml. Click on finish. So you can see the project got added to the package explorer. Now open the open your project. So make sure that you have these all folders. So src main Java, src main resource, src test Java, where these structures are very helpful. So let me explain about in small about these structures. src main slash Java is used to develop the Java project, Java classes and packages. When coming to src main resources, is going to where you can develop HTML pages, and you can also have some images, that kind of thing. And when coming to the test Java, where you can write the code for testing the project. So next we'll start with application. Okay. So this should be for sure. It should make sure that it is present while you are downloading the project and importing the project. This is very important. From the main itself, the program starts running. So let's start Java class. Let's start our controller class. Name it as my controller. So make sure that you follow the naming conventions. So make sure that you are going to add this in controller package. Click on enter. Yes, you have created the controller package and controller class. So make sure that your application.java file is on the top. So where the program start execution. So start creating your REST APIs. And not only that, first let us run this application. Then it's running or not. Start. Click on run as. Click on map and build. Click on clear. Clean. Clean. Package. Spring Boot. You and run. Can here scanning the project. It's getting executed. Yeah, it's done. So it's there is no compilation error. So you can start writing your code here. You can start building your own REST API. So make sure always when you save the code, so it starts execution again. So that's why we added Spring Dev tools. So once go to the pom.xml, where make sure that everything got downloaded. So here you can see the name that you have given to your project. Yeah, first API is the name of the project, and company name is com.hulkhire. And make sure the dependencies that we are look at here, the dependencies started at web. So these are the web dependencies that we added, and Spring Boot Dev tools. So these are the dependencies that we added. So these are by default came dependencies. So let's start building the applications. So let's check which port our project is running. Its project is running on 8080, port number 8080, which is Tomcat server, localhost. Let's start writing our REST APIs. So let's start with REST controller. What is REST controller? So what is REST controller? Guys, REST controller is a special annotation that tells Spring Boot this class is REST API controller. It means this class will handle HTTP request and send responses, usually in JSON format. So this, if you want to know that your project is a REST project, you have to annotate this project with REST API, REST controller. So Control Shift O, where you can download the import the package. So wait some time. So this is spelling mistake. Control is Control Shift O. So you got it. So next annotation is that request mapping. Update request mapping. So what is request mapping? So guys, a request mapping is used to map HTTP requests to a specific class or method. So it tells the server which when this URL is called and run this method. So for example, I'm going to create a database called students. There is a student database, and to Control Shift to download it. So now we are going to call the methods, HTTP methods. So what are the HTTP methods? Get mapping, post mapping, put mapping, patch mapping, and delete mapping. So now we are going to write this all HTTP methods where we can put the data in. So using post mapping, with using get mapping, you can retrieve the data of the student. Using post mapping, you can create the data of the student. You can create the student. Using put mapping, you can update the complete details of the students. Using patch mapping, you can update the partial data of the student. And using delete mapping, you can delete the data of the students. So let's start creating the rate get pping. Sorry, it's going to return string. Return from get method. Yeah. So till now we have completed till here. So once check whether it's working or not. So once you go to the browser, so guys, you should follow while coding. Code little, test little. So where we can easily develop the code. Localhost going to refer student. Yeah, it's got executing. By default, browser uses get HTTP method. So you might get doubt like, is it taking this? Is it coming from this method or some other kind of method? Let's we check. So let me check. Yeah, it's coming from this same method. So let us give some another get method. So how do we do that? Just copy this, paste over it. So this is the second method. Should be showing some error. So say we need to say the compiler that the compiler may confuse like which method should I use. So at that time you can use. So go to the second get method. Get to. So now slash press enter. Yeah, you can look here. This is coming from the second get method. So now let us write post method. So this is for post method, this is for put, this is for patch, this is for delete. So let us edit all this. Yeah, till now we have written every annotation. So now let us check whether this is working or not. So by default, the browser uses get method. So for now, for checking purpose, you need to use Postman. So we'll go to the Postman and let's create new request. The new request is student request. We're going to student. So okay, start with the get request to the browser. Just copy the path and control. Sorry guys, just copy the path. Control C and paste here. And please so click on enter. You can see it is coming hello from get method. So now you have to check from the post that it's working or not. Click on enter. Oh, sorry, we're getting an error. Students number 8080 for not error. Check the situation what happened here. Yeah, it won't work, I know that. Yeah, it's working now. Once check with the put method, is it working or not? Yeah, it's working. You can look here. Coming hello from put method. Let's go with patch. Send the request. Coming from patch method. And next select delete and click on send. Getting from delete method. So now I think you got understood like how these are working. So what is daily get mapping? So guys, get mapping is nothing but when you uh, annotate with get mapping. So you are going to ask the data like what are the get the student details. So this is nothing but get mapping, and you can also do like this, like get by ID, get by name, get by ID. So that is a secondary part. So in future videos, you are going to learn about that. In now post mapping. What is post mapping? Post mapping is nothing but creating a student in the database, creating a student in table, student. And put mapping. What is put mapping? Changing the data of the students completely. So if you use put mapping, the details should be completely changed. Okay. And patch mapping. So what is patch mapping? Patch mapping is also nothing but changing the details of the students, but not completely. If you want to change the name of the student, then you can directly use only student name. And when coming to the delete mapping you use it to delete the data of the student. Okay. So this is nothing but annotations. And so now let's understand some more annotations like as we discussed these are annotations. So till now we have completed till request mapping and the REST controller, get mapping, post mapping, put mapping, patch mapping, delete mapping, and now let us see request mapping. Okay, go to the tool suite and go here. We're going to look about so request parameters. So why I'm reusing for the post mapping means post mapping the thing that supports every method. To do that, So I'm going to request the parameters from the browser, from the user client int. It could be ID of the student and request. So for make you easy, I'm using param use string name of the student. Okay, and we need to see the names, right? ID student name. So when we need to import the annotations package, we have to shift, we have to press Control Shift O. So where it will directly import the packages related to the annotations. So now you can do save, go to the postman and select post mapping. Need to add the parameters. Right. Parameters are like, need to know the parameters. ID should be, ID can be 201 and name. Name could be like Prashant. TH. Control is shoot. Yeah, we got the ID of the student, name of the student. So this is the use of request parameters. I think you people have understood that. So I given the ID as 201 and name as Prashant. Okay. So my spelling has been mistake. Switch again. TH. So save. Shoot. So this is my, we got the details of student. ID of the student is 201 and name of the student is Prashant. Next, we go to the, we can we can watch another what is path variable. So what is path variable? Till now we have seen request parameters, right? So now let us understand what is path variable. So I think we haven't discussed the definition of request parameters, right? So what is the definition of request parameters? Request parameters, it is used to capture the query parameters from the URL. I got it. So it is used to capture the query parameters from the URL. And next we are going to discuss about path variable. What is path variable? Path variable is used to capture the value from the URL itself. So by in the URL itself, you can capture the path. It means you need to mention the the path, the variable in the URL. So till now we have used for parameters. You have used the parameters, right? And but for the path variables, we need to give here itself. So let create let me see how we are going to create the path variable. So then make it big size and here let us see path variable. So we need to give that in URL, right? So I need to mention path variables. So I give path as 1. So it is dynamic in type. So you can give whatever the name, whatever the number you want. So this one slash capital F, and you have to mention the path variable. Path variable as we can whatever it may be. You can give whether string or in integer, whatever type you can give. You can. So I'm giving int as a path 1 and comma. So next the let's go with string path 2. Okay, yeah. So we need to define the path variables place path 1 path 2. Yeah, think it might run. Yeah, it's running without any compilation errors. So let's go to the code and so it will give the error. So because we need to add the path variables. Okay, so we can add path variables like 1, another variable like name, the string. We need to give string, right? So what should we give? So let me give Prashant. And shoot. Yeah, we're getting. So there is no connection. There is no out. You can see here. Path is 1 that we have given 1, and path 2 is Prashant. So this is used. So what is the use of this path variable? Path variable is used uh, in different kind of ways. Like you can fetch the data using ID. You can fetch the data using name. So in this kind of ways, you can use the path variable. And next, we are going to learn about till now what we have learned. We have completed request param and request header. So let's learn about request header. So what is request header? Why we use the request header? So coming to the request header, it is used to capture the data from the HTTP header. Okay, first let's define the annotation. Path, not path. Request header. My header. So it might run without any errors. So go to the postman. You can see here headers. So in headers, you can give my header, and that's the key. And this is, it's also a key parameter. It's a query parameter. So you can also say this is my header. So guys, mainly header is used in the tokenization process in access token in that kind of a situation like authorization and authentication purposes. So you can see even we are getting here my header is, this is my header. So next we are going to learn about request body. Enter. String and my body. My body. Go to the postman, and in the body you can select raw, and because we are going to select JSON format because the solution is given in the JSON format. So here we can give key value pair. Like for example, whatever it may be, num num1, 1, 2. Let's shoot. Yeah, here we are getting my body is equal to num1. So this is how we are going to create the REST API. So till now we have completed how to create the basic REST API. So this is guys, this is a just basic REST API. It's not complicated one. It's very easy. And from in the next video, we are going to see the practical implementation, like how we are storing the data in the database, how we can get the data of the student by his ID, how you're going to get the details of the student by his name, and how you're going to create the data of create the student in database, and how you are going to change the details and how you're going to delete them. So, and with logic, we are going to see in the next video. So I think you people have understood these all the concepts. If you have any doubts, you can ping me in the comment section. So I will try to answer the questions. So this is my very first YouTube videos. If I have done any mistake, could you don't feel anything to mention in the comment section. If you give any suggestions, I will happy to accept that and for my improvements in any kind of way. So thank you.